Yes, so this is the second class of paper 2. As as you know that normally psychology paper 2 means optional paper 2 creates lots of threads uh, in the mind of a student while they are preparing it. Reason of that I have been explained in the first class. So what is the threads in the mind? Mind is that how I will write answer. So the second threads, what is running in the mind of a student is how and what sources I need to use to prepare this paper. Uh, second, so even in the first class of second paper, so this is a paper 2 class, right? Paper 2 class of psychology optional. And in the first class, I explained only one important concept. First thing, while you want to go for the preparation, you must kept always with syllabus. And second is always put PYQ with you. PYQ means previous year question paper. This is the first criteria for the preparation of paper 2 of psychology, right? And second thing I explained about certain rules for the preparation, of paper 2. What rules I told? In that I explained basically while you are going to prepare paper 2, you must classify it into, yeah, while you want to prepare, you must make at least 3 segments in them. First segment is that paper 1 or the basic understanding. That basic understanding is very important while you want to go to for prepare. Basic understanding, or you're right, a basic understanding. A basic understanding means the understanding which we received from paper 1. Getting my points? While we are preparing paper 1, at that time we must will be aware with certain words, with certain theorems, certain theories. So by the using of all that, even you can write the question answers of paper 2. So the basic knowledge and basic understanding of paper 1 will help you to understand the paper 2. This is the first thing I have been explained in the last class. Second point I mentioned, I elaborate that is a syllabus of paper 2. It is syllabus of paper 2. Syllabus of paper 2, in this part, you must have thoroughly understanding of every point which is mentioned into the UPSC syllabus. If there is in the UPSC paper, there is 10 points are mentioned. So you must go one by one each. Getting my points? So means you have a thoroughly understanding in the paper 2 topics. But paper 2 topics is not possible to totally understand without understanding of the basics. This I want to say. Right? Third parts, as I told, that current affairs. So what is in current affair? Because sometimes we have very good understanding in the basics, and we have very good understanding in the second paper, but we are not able to write answer appropriately due to the unawareness about current affairs. So current affairs of psychology rather than history and geography. Like you have a current affair of history or whatever the paper 1, GS paper 2, like 3 and 4. Similarly, there is in the option of psychology, there is also current affair. Like if you will see carefully the topics of paper 2, that are mainly sports psychology, disadvantaged group, as well as integration of India, military psychology, even some standard issues of India's health, and etc. etc. All that are also in the news. So you must cover, right? Even I will help you in this case because I'm going to start soon a new program. In that programs, I will discuss or we will discuss current affairs. We will discuss current affairs of a week, right? That I will almost start on the next week because in this week I'm too much busy. From next week onwards, there is a one class that is based on psychology current affairs. Ready? Psychology current affairs we will start. Getting my points? So while you will be good, while you have a good understanding in the basic and topics of paper 2 and current affairs, you can easily write the answers of paper 2. Means the question, the paper 2 answers nature is not only based on just you have only not based on it only that if you will complete the syllabus that will be sufficient. No. Paper 2's answer writing is based on paper 1 also basics understanding as well as current. So you should set your strategy. Right? Like here I mentioned in last class because we have started to deal that this section. So हमने शुरू कर दिया था इस सेक्शन को डील करना and what like we have selected the unit 1 that name is individual difference, right? So individual difference is well mentioned. Where it is mentioned? It is well mentioned in NCERT class 12 and even it is well mentioned into NIS material, even it is IGNOU's material as well as into EPG Pathshala's material. So there is clearly mentioned what is individual difference. Right? Individual difference can be created on the basis of certain parameters. Like in my class, there is Ajay setting. Here is Shashi setting. So here is Shashi is different from Ajay. On what factor is different from Ajay? Even I am also different from you. So how an individual is different? How each individual is different? So there are certain parameters on which we can make we are different. Like first factor is intelligence. We are different at the level of intelligence right here. Intelligence. Ready? Second, at the level of intelligence, we are different. Like your intelligence, my intelligence, everyone's intelligence are different. Getting my points? And second factor is personality. At the level of personality, we are different. Getting? Your personality is different from my personality. My personality is different from Swati's personality. So each and everyone have a different personality. Getting my points? And here is well mentioned third factor that each and everyone is different on the basis of their interest. Like interest is here. So on the parameter of interest, we are different. Getting us it? Each one interest is different. And next note, on the basis of aptitudes, we are different. Getting? On the basis of what? On the basis of values. We are different at the level of values. We are different at the level of attitude also. Means all the basic understanding words. What are the basic words of first unit? The basic words or basic words of first unit is what? Behavior. It is behavior. Second word is what? Learning. Third word is what? Memory. Fourth word is what? That is motivation. Right? Motivation. Motivation is here. And emotion. Other is perception. Even all these are the name of chapter. But all these name of chapters we can, or these are the basic vocabulary of psychology. On the basis of basic vocabulary of psychology, we can create social difference. Getting? Perception. As the other is attitudes. Attitudes. Other is on the basis of some other like thinking. So we can create our differences on the several basis. As I defined all these words in the last class. What was the definition of these words? Note down in your copy. The first word is intelligence. Intelligence is a global capacity. A global capacity. It is a global capacity. Or we can say it is a general ability. We can say it is a general ability. Get it? So we are different in general abilities. Even in the we are not same in general abilities. My general ability will be different from yours. And what about personality? Personality is social and emotional adjustment of social and emotional adjustment. Social and emotional adjustment. Social and emotional adjustment of an individual. Means how you will adjust in your society. The adjustment of your will reflects your society. Getting my points? If you are adjusting well in your society, your personality will be obviously good, and then people will like your personality. And if your emotional adjustment is very poor in your society, you start to cry at various, you become furious, you become anger, you become quickly tense. So that is your personality.
So how many types of adjustments can be there? Like you are told assimilation, accommodation, revolution.
Different types. Getting my points? So here I want to tell only one thing: the basic words and their meaning will help you to understand paper 2. Like all these basic words, even we are using from paper, paper. Here only we are writing the meanings in very short. What is personality? What is interest? What is interest? Interest means the task which we prefer. Task which we prefer. Means what is our preferences? What is our preferences? That is there. Other is what? Aptitudes. Aptitude means, it is one other word is aptitude. Aptitude means, as I mentioned, interest. Interest plus potential. Interest plus potential. That is aptitudes. Other is what is values? Values means the degree of importance. So degree of importance. The degree of importance. Getting my point? The degree of importance. Even because we are separate at the level of attitude also. Attitude also. Attitude means what? Attitude means that the values, right? Values toward anything. That is your attitudes. Here is values towards. That is attitudes. And it is individual. It is individual. Getting my points? So these are the basics individual abilities, and these individual abilities we measures. All these abilities, what we do? Basically, what we do with these individual abilities, we try to measure. We try to measure these individual abilities. Right? We try to measure. We try to measure these individual abilities. Getting my points? Without measurement, no doubt, without measurements of these individual ability, without measurements of these abilities, it is difficult to identify right? It is difficult to identify individual differences. It is difficult to identify individual differences. So, how we will measure? There is different way of measurements, and you know that the smallest things of the measurement or evaluations is what? Test. Here is test. Right? If you will broadening your test inside of above the test there is other things, above it there is other things, above it there is other things, right? Above it, what is here? That is examination. Examination. And then above of it, assessment. What is assessment? And that is evaluations. So largest thing of measurement is what? Evaluation. While somebody is evaluating you, it means they are checking you all your behavior, all the analysis of your behavior. So, like UPSC is evaluating you for the civil service. so that they are checking all dimensions. What dimension is there? They are checking your GS dimension, economical dimension, social dimension, political dimensions, ethical dimension, specialized dimensions, so that they are checking all dimensions. Getting my points? So, what I want to say here, I want to say very simple thing. Each and every individual is different or unique, said by Maslow. Said by Maslow. Maslow, even it was also spoken by Roger, also called Roger. I taught in the paper one. Like Paul Roger says, phenomenology. Each one is unique. On what parameter we are unique? We are unique on the parameters of intelligence, attitudes, values. But how we will detect? How we will identify this uniqueness? How we will identify? We will identify this uniqueness by the measurement. So we have different types of measurements. There is a test, examination, assessment, evaluation. The broadest form of the measurement is what? Evaluations. Get it? So what is evaluation? Evaluation means, what I need to write here. Evaluation means you will write the formula of evaluation. Evaluation is what? E is equal to quantification, quantitative plus qualitative measurement of behavior. It means while we are quantifying, while we are measuring quantification and qualification of the human behavior. That is what? Evaluation. Like our schools and college. Like UPSC also. UPSC check your qualities. Right? Qualities means how much you can handle pressure, how much is speed, and what is the level of your cognitions, what is the level of thinking, what is the level of problem solving. All these checked by whom? But all these things they convert into whom? Quantitative marks. Like marks, they provide you marks. Getting it? So I am telling you, Indian Public Service Commission basically evaluates your qualities and quantities of behavior. Qualities and quantities of your behavior. That is. So here, first of all, we will understand what is psychological testing. Getting my points? Because what we are measuring here, psychological abilities. So mention that in your copy, what is psychological testing? Even I explained in the last class, even it is given in the notes provided by me. As all of you know that without studying in the class, it is very difficult to understand my notes.
So what is the difference between test and examination?
That I need to explain. Testing is first thing a micro assessment. Examination is a broader assessment. Getting my points? Testing means to dictating certain abilities, to identifying certain abilities. Specific abilities. That is testing. So there is a different type of test. Diagnostic test. Why we are doing diagnostic test? Because we want to first identify the problems, then we will provide diagnosis. Diagnostic test done by psychologists also. While you will go to doctors, doctor will do what? Diagnostic test. Getting it? And prognostic test is also. Prognostic test means it checks your proficiency. Prognostic test. Prognostic test. Prognostic test. It checks your efficiency. Like UPSC also takes your aptitude test. What is it? It is a prognostic test. Getting my points? While they are giving you case study, that is diagnostic test. Getting? Like there is a case that on the in that case, how it will intervene. That intervention of intervention case will reflect your diagnostic ability. Getting? So here is examination. Examination means to knowing the positive and negative dimensions of both. Getting my points? And broader picture is assessment. Assessment of learning. Assessment for learning. So evaluation is a broader term than the assessment that we will deal. Getting my points? As here I have written one word, measurement. What's written? Measurement. There are the four types of measurement. Have you heard the name of measurement? Measurement. Ratios. Ratio measurement. Getting? Interval ratio. Other is nominal. There are the four measurement. Interval, ratio, nominal, ordinal. So there are the four types of measurement. Ready? So even if you write, there are the four types of measurement. Four. First is nominal, ordinal, internal, as well as ratio. Even it starts from nominal. The loophole of nominal will be corrected into ordinal. The loopholes of ordinal will be corrected into ordinal, internal. And the ratio is one of the finest measurement. One of the finest measurement is ratio. Getting my points? That we will give in detail. But I am telling you, these individual differences can be measured. How we can measure? On the basis of our certain parameters. So here we will note down few things. What is individual? What is psychological measurement? Note down psychological measurement. The psychological testing. What is psychological testing? Psychological test is a standard. Psychological test is a standardized, not a standard, even standardized and objective measurement of a simple behavior. Objective measurements of simple behavior. So this concept was given by NSPC. I hope you have heard the name, right? NSPC. NSPC. So this concept given NSPC, which I have been explained. What I explained? what I have been even dictated. Psychological testing is a standardized and objective of a sample of a behavior. Objective measurement of a sample of a behavior. Next you note down. A psychological test is, note down is a psychological test is a systematic procedure. Psychological test is a systematic procedure for observing persons' behavior and describing it with the help of numerical and fixed category scale. Numerical or fixed category scale. Or fixed category scale. It means इजहार जब हम इंसान के बिहेवियर को क्वांटिफाई करना चाहते हैं. Right? Getting my points? Note down that the ultimate goal of psychological testing is, note down, ultimate goal of psychological testing is to quantify human behavior, that helps in description, underline word description, comma explanation, comma prediction, comma controlling, and explanation. Getting my points? So why we are quantifying the human behavior? Because we want to give better explanation. Suppose we have a 5 rupees note. So we know that कि 5 rupees note से कितना सामान मिल सकता है. We can predict it or not. We can explain more better way. We can control our habit because we know that quantity of anything. तो इंसान के बिहेवियर को अगर क्वांटिफाई किया जाएगा तो क्या बेनिफिट होगा? उसका प्रिडिक्शन किया जा सकता है, एक्सप्लेनेशन किया जा सकता है, एनालिसिस की जा सकती है. Getting my points? Control, it can be also control, so that quantification of behavior is right. This branch, next para, this branch of psychology is called psychometrics. This branch of psychology is called psychometrics. तो जो इस टेस्टिंग को ह्यूमन बिहेवियर के टेस्टिंग करती है, मेजरमेंट करता है, इस ब्रांच को ही हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? साइकोमेट्रिक्स. So if you will study with any professor of psychology, he will definitely tell you that psychometrics. Even in my notes, there is clearly mentioned the meaning of psychometrics. Even you should take after the class. Here is written: psychometric is a branch of psychology that deals with measurable factors. So you always put the printed material of all organizations, because without printed material and class notes, nobody can do. Along with material is very difficult to study in class. Other is, here is written, well, the branch of psychology concerned with the design and uses of psychological tests, application of statistical and mathematical techniques, that is psychological test. Clearly it mentions everything. So go by that. Go by that. Right? This we will provide you, right? So here is given a lot of definitions of psychometrics. So what is psychometrics? Psychometrics is a branch of psychology which study the human behavior into quantitative terms. Try to quantify human behaviors into quantitative terms. Why they are quantifying human behaviors? Because of 5 goals. What are the 5 goals? Controlling, analysis, explanations, predictions, and application. These are the 5 goals of quantifying the human behavior. 5 goals that we are supplying. Right now, we need to move the next part. Right? Characteristics of good test. Here we will note down first point. Characteristics of a good test. Characteristics of good test. Good what? Psychological test rather than good psychological test. Good psychological test. First characteristics. First thing is it must be reliable. First word is reliability. It must have reliability. So while you want to highlight the reliability or the meaning of reliability, you can use 3 words for the reliability. What 3 words are for the reliability? First is accuracy. The things which is accurate, that will be reliable. If we will measure human behavior accurately, that is reliable. In my points? And repeatability. Repeatability. Or repeatable. Repeatable. If anything is repeating, that is reliable. And third word is consistency. Consistency. Getting at here? So if anything is consistent, so that will be repeatedness, accuracy. So what is reliability? Note down. Reliability of the test indicates the degree to which the test is free from internal defects. To which the test is free from internal defects. History. I will repeat this. Reliability of the test indicates the degree to which the test is free from internal defects of standardization. So underline the words internal defects. Underline the words internal defects. So reliability helps to identify what? Internal defects. Getting my points? And second criteria for making good test is what? I hope definitely you know that words, that is validity. That is validity.
This is also in the case of research.
This is also in the case of research. Even we will deal all these in detail. We will deal in all these terms in detail. Reliability. If you want to know little bit, I am ready to tell you. Reliability have a different types. Reliability have a different types. So there is basically 4 types of reliability. 4 types of reliability. One is test, retest reliability. Note down even. Test, retest reliability.
So this is type of reliability.
Yeah, this is the type of reliability. Test, retest reliability. Other is internal reliability. Other is internal reliability. Getting? Other is scalar reliability. Other is parallel reliability. So there are the 4 types of reliability. 4. Scalar, internal, parallel, and test retest. It is re rather than p. This is the retest. Test retest. Getting my points? And in the internal reliability, there is even 4 methods. There are the 4 methods. How many? 4 methods. That is, first is split half. Here, split half. Even I will add here. Okay, because not visible into the camera. So those who are listening me, please dictate split half. It is split half. Correct? By yourself, split half will be there. Other is what? That is Fuller-Richardson reliability. Fuller-Richardson. Fuller-Richardson. Fuller-Richardson reliability. Rulon-Fallingen reliability. Rulon-Fallingen. Kornbank alpha. Kornbank alpha. Bank alpha. By alpha, right? It is Kornbank alpha. So internal reliability have 4 methods. If you want to check the internal reliability, there are the 4 methods. What are the 4 methods? Split half, Fuller-Richardson, Rulon-Fallingen, other is Kornbank alpha. So these are the way by which we can check the reliability of anyone. And what about the validity? Validity have again 3 words. Validity have again 3 words. First word is what? Purity. Purity. The things which is pure, that is valid. Other is working potential. Working potential. Fidelity. Next word is here, fidelity. So anything which is feudable, that is feudable. The things which is feudable, that is again reliable. Feudability. So fidelity, here is Fidulity. Fidelity. Fidelity. So these three things, and even there is also different types. Even there is also different types in the validity. What are the different types in the validity? Like here is first thing is on the basis of contents, on the basis of construct. Other is on the basis of criteria. So constant contents, construct and criteria. Like here is face validity. Face validity. We will deal in detail. Just I am introducing here what is that. But means there are the different types of liability, different types of validity. All that are important. Even if UPSC has asked separately, how we will deal these questions will come. But we are discussing here what are the good characteristics of any cycloskeleton test. So on the basis of construct is basically one is simultaneous. Here is simultaneously and predictively. And what about the criteria? There is three criteria. Oh, no, just wait. Construct means there is two constructs. One is conversant, other is divergent. Another is criteria. What are the criteria? That जो construct में लिखा था वो criteria में लिखना है. So there is three that words is simultaneous. Simultaneous is it. And there is predictive. So these are the things. Simply apologize those who are watching online. I'm just turning the camera because of I'm very poor in technology. Don't mind for that. Only just understand the sense. Actually, कैमरे में सारा टेढ़ा दिख रहा है. जो कोई देख रहा होगा बहुत नीचे होगा. Right? Okay. Even I will write hand here mostly because we have other here is also space. But उधर मैंने लिख दिया तो उसको दिखाना मेरी ड्यूटी बनती थी. So मैंने बोला this is the second criteria for the making any test. Ready, sorry? And third is so note down few things. Yeah, validity means the degree to which the test measures what it intended to measure. What it intend, you know that बना है जिसके what it intend to measure. And what it is claimed to measure. And what it is claimed to measure. And what it is claimed to measure. That is, even you want to write also, validity means purity of test, which I mentioned earlier. Validity means purity of test. Validity means working potential of the test. Validity means futility of test. These are एक psychological test में चीजें होना जरूरी है. All these are important. While we are doing any psychological measure, नहीं करोगे मजा नहीं आने वाला। आप जस्ट यूपीएससी का ले लो, यूपीएससी ने आपका टेस्ट कर दिया, आप पास हो गए, रिजल्ट आ गया, बट आप में क्या नहीं है, प्योरिटी। जो चीजें उसने मेजर किया, अगर उसने प्योर नहीं है, साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट आर वेस्ट, यूपीएससी के सारे टेस्ट तो वेस्ट चले गए, इतना पैसा खर्च किया सब वेस्ट चला गया। Getting my points? So the third parameter while we are doing any test, that is objectivity. What is your objectivity? Objectivity. So for making good psychological test, there is what? Objectivity. What is objectivity? The degree to which any test is free from subjectivity. Note down. The degree to which any test is free from.
तो इसको टाइप वगैरह नहीं है ना,
इसमें नहीं, जगह नहीं है। The degree to which any test is free from subjectivity. Free from subjectivity. Degree to which any test is free from. Like when I make this first test of you, आप लोगों की जब मैंने फर्स्ट टेस्ट बनाए तो बहुत सब्जेक्टिव होके बनाए। बच्चे हैं फर्स्ट टाइम टेस्ट दे रहे, डर जाएंगे, घबरा जाएंगे, टफ होगा। बट व्हाट अबाउट लास्ट टेस्ट, वो पूरे ऑब्जेक्टिव होके बने। और अभी एक नए कॉन्सेप्ट शुरू किए हमने, और दैट इज गोइंग ऑन मॉर्निंग बैच आल्सो। नया कॉन्सेप्ट पता है क्या है? हर टॉपिक के कंप्लीट होने के बाद 4 सेक्शनल टेस्ट होंगे। उस टॉपिक का फर्स्ट क्वार्टर, सेकंड क्वार्टर, थर्ड क्वार्टर एंड लास्ट क्वार्टर। सो फर्स्ट क्वार्टर में क्या गलती हो रही, सेकंड हाफ में क्या गलती हो रही, थर्ड में, वो सब डिटेक्ट करेंगे। सो आपकी तभी तो कमियां। I want to create your objective कि सब्जेक्टिविटी रिमूव करना, टीचर दैट इज। सो जितना ज्यादा अपने आप को इवॉल्व कर सकते हैं पेंडुलम। Right now, go move to the topic. Right, next is इसी के अंदर एक 2 लाइन और लिख लेना। The item of the test should be objective. Item of the test means question answer. The questions which is provided by the researcher, that should be what? Objective. That will be good test. Objective of score system. Next point. इसी के अंदर बुलेट इसमें बुलेट पॉइंट्स, राइट? Objectives of score system. Objectives of score test system. Getting? So objectives of items, yeah, item objectivity. So somebody asks you, what is item objectivity? Like we see ask their questions which are too much objectives. और यूपीएससी ऐसे टॉपिक को कभी नहीं पिक करता जो बच्चे के अंदर कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करे, right? So note down the one definition. Item objectivity means आइटम ऑब्जेक्टिविटी में जब मैं टेस्ट देता हूं या बच्चों को देता हूं, या मैं यूपीएससी के जब ऑप्शंस को एलिमिनेट करता हूँ या कुछ भी करना पसंद करता हूँ. So I also used to work according to item objectivity. इस टॉपिक को क्यों पूछना चाहिए? If they are talking about banking system in the PT, तो पूछना चाहिए यार. और बैंकिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव क्यों है? क्योंकि वो कोई भी बच्चा जानना चाहिए. Everyone must have financial education. अब सब्जेक्टिव यूपीएससी कैसे हो सकती है वहां पर कि वो बैंकिंग सिस्टम मोर स्टडीड बाय होम कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट, वो ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछ ले जो कॉमर्स वाले बच्चों को बेनिफिट पहुंचाए. सिमिलरली हिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट, if UPSC is asking the questions of history, they are trying to make it objective. वो ऐसे टर्म्स पूछता है कि हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल पढ़ने के बाद भी उसको नहीं पता होता. Getting my points? If anyone is preparing optional history, even they cannot solve the question of PT's question of history. Even they cannot solve because वो बहुत ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन पूछता है. अब इवन इफ दे आस्क अबाउट टैक्सेशन, तो आईआरएस बच्चा भी बैठा है पीटी में नेक्स्ट टाइम, तो आईआरएस वाले को टैक्सेशन बहुत अच्छे से पता है, तो वो ऐसा भी नहीं पूछेगा जिससे कि आईआरएस वाले बच्चे को बेनिफिट मिले. राइट? बिकॉज यूपीएससी में आईएएस को छोड़ के लगभग सारे बैठते हैं दोबारा. इवन इफ समवन इज आईपीएस he will also sit in the exam. If someone is IRS, any allied services, he will sit in the group A, group B services. वो बैठता है और वो भी बच्चा बैठेगा जो हमारे ओरिजिनल जैसा हो, बिल्कुल नया. Getting my points? So in that case what? हमें उस आईएएस वाले बच्चे को आईपीएस वाले को बेनिफिट नहीं देना. If we are giving the benefit to the IPS student, that is not objective test. That is subjective. Like there was test of NEET test become too much controversial because of that NEET provide benefit to the mainly CBSE board or urban childs. So the many even CSAT questions, you know that it was also earlier disputed because of its objectivity. So objectivity of any test is one of the important concern. Getting my points? So note down that item objectivity means when the test is free from bias. When the test is free from bias. When test is free from bias. Getting my points? Free from bias. Means those things which are written, those items which are selected, that should not, that never provide benefit to any particular section. If the questions or items of any test is giving benefit to any particular section, then it is not good. तो उससे अच्छा टेस्ट नहीं मानेंगे हम लोग, नहीं मानेंगे. Then next is fourth criteria for making good test, not characteristics of good test. That is norms. Norms. Norms are there. Tests have what? Norms. You know that if the tests do not have norms, actually that test is, norms means what?
Standardized.
Huh?
Standardized rules.
Huh. So what word you will use for it? Huh. Norms refer, note down, norms refer to average performance of a representative sample on a given test. So it is here keywords average performance.
So refer to
G.
repeat.
Norms refer to average performance of a representative sample on a given test. Full stop. Norms are essential for meaningful interpretation of the test score. Right? So that norms are different types. We will deal in detail later. Like कोई टेस्ट मैंने बनाया एक 5 साल के बच्चे के लिए और उस टेस्ट को किसको दे दूं 8 साल के बच्चे को. That test is applying according to the age norms. So any test have what age norms. Like UPSC age norms क्या है 21 year and maximum is what 35 37 in case of relaxation and categories. Categorical relaxation. So what is here Ajit? Norms means average performance. 21 साल का बच्चा कोई भी they can participate in UPSC.
Why do you think it is only 35?
Because after that even they have, I think their creativity goes to decline. And initially they are in the middle age and almost there is no such type of brainstorming like 21 year student have. So brainstorming होता नहीं 35 साल 23 साल के बाद और उसमें उतना कैरियर enthusiasm रह भी नहीं रहा. Another thing is if we want to send them to top the bureaucracy, so very difficult. Top level पे पहुंचना भी बहुत मुश्किल है. Here is UPSC search basically spark, पटाखा चाहिए उसको. Spark. That spark if they put into the public, वो आग लगाना. आग लगाने का मतलब that not real fire. It means that I mean not real fire. I mean they serve by the best. They have very good control over the public. If we provide them any office, UPSC says if अगर इसको कोई ऑफिस दे दो तो उस ऑफिस को भी बहुत अच्छे से करना आता होगा इसको. If we provide them any event management, बहुत अच्छा करता है. I simply say IS means public manager. IS means public manager according to me very simply. Like here is the bank manager, here is the account manager, here is the public manager. And for the management of public, what you need? You need to know economy, history, geography, politics, all the dimensions. And there is the age norms. Other norms is what? Grade norms. Grade norms is. Ready? Other is percentile norms. Percentile is below the score. So this is the fourth norms. The 4 things for are making a good test. Ready? Other concept is predictive built. Fourth, practicality. Fifth. So these are fifth. Practicality. The test which we made that should be practical. Practicality is the next requirement for making any test. Getting my points? So practicality is the other, which means that we can apply in real setting. Like UPSC के बच्चों को हमने कोई ऐसा टेस्ट बना दिया जो प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. like if you design to write answers by online, तो साइकोमोटर लर्निंग कहाँ से पता चलेगी? ऑनलाइन में तो साइकोमोटर हो ही नहीं सकता। यूपीएससी इसलिए डिजिटल नहीं कर रही यूपीएससी का एग्जाम, बिकॉज राइटिंग स्किल विल नॉट इजिली टू आइडेंटिफाई। और कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा, अच्छा क्या करें जिससे कि अच्छे और आईएएस ऑफिसर आए, राइट? So here is the next thing that we are dealing about, that we are dealing. So these are the characteristics of. अब इसका एप्लीकेशन करोगे, एप्लीकेशन करना है, means how these points will apply in different circumstances. इसी को आप क्या करना है, एप्लीकेशन, right? Suppose you want to make a test for school children. ये स्कूल चिल्ड्रन के लिए अगर आपको बनाना है, if UPSC asks what are the characteristics of test if we are making for the school children. Suppose, clear? My question is clear. I need to repeat it, right? I hope clear. So एक मान लो स्कूल बच्चों के लिए आपको टेस्ट बनाना हो, तो उसमें क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होना चाहिए? तो आप यूं लिखोगे, सपोज दे आस्क यू अबाउट डिसेबल चिल्ड्रन, बिकॉज इसमें डिसेबल भी होते हैं, राइट? नाउ दिव्यांग, वी यूज्ड टू व्हाट, दिव्यांग चिल्ड्रन। सो दिव्यांग के लिए भी कोई टेस्ट बनाओगे तो उसमें क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने चाहिए अकॉर्डिंग टू यू? These are characteristics. Suppose they ask you for the recruitment of civil service. Civil service के लिए टेस्ट बनाना हो तो उसमें क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने चाहिए? Same thing. If you want to make the recruitment of army, here is military, you can say army word तो use नहीं करेंगे साइकोलॉजी, military is here. Even they ask organizational recruitment, कोई organizational means industry like that, right? Suppose I am making test for MBA person, तो MBA वाले टेस्ट में भी यही चीजें तो होना चाहिए। अजीज समझ माना बेटी? कि मीन्स अगर पूछ लिया कि MBA के बच्चों का रिक्रूटमेंट करने के लिए या MBA के टीचर्स का रिक्रूटमेंट करने के लिए एक टेस्ट बनाना, उसकी क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होनी चाहिए? सो व्हाट विल वी राइट इन व्हाट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स विल वी राइट? इस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स वैसा वन बाय बनाओ, गेट इट? एंड इफ दे आस्क यू अबाउट कि सिविल सर्विस के बच्चों का रिक्रूटमेंट करना है, आप उस टेस्ट में क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स देखना चाहो, या उसमें उस टेस्ट की क्या बेसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होनी चाहिए? सो व्हाट विल बी योर आंसर? सिविल सर्विस के लिए भी यही होगा, क्योंकि टेस्ट का ही बेसिक क्राइटेरिया है। अगर किसी मान लो वुमेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से पूछ लिया तो सेम थिंग, कोई टेस्ट बनाना हो, उस टेस्ट के लिए ये क्राइटेरिया आपको फॉलो करना है, but it will vary according to requirement. यदि तो किसी भी, अब इसी को लिखना आपको आना चाहिए, means note down a question, even have a previous year paper of second paper? No. Okay, so collect from desk, भी तो बुक आएगी तो 2 दिन में 3 दिन में वैसे मिल जाएगा, तो पेज वाइज क्यों वेस्ट करोगे? वन पेपर से बिल वन ट्री, वन बैम्बू प्लांट, एक्चुअली बैम्बू इज ग्रास और प्लांट, ग्रास, बैम्बू इज नॉट ट्री, बैम्बू इज अ ग्रास, राइट? So what I want to say? So these are the characteristics of a good test. Got it? And even we will debate it. हाँ, तो एक question लिखो on the same, on the basis of same study, no doubt. Suggest some characteristics. Suggest some characteristics of a good psychological test, of a good test. Of a good test for the recruitment of civil servant. For the recruitment of civil servant. Here I mention suggest some test characteristics. Good test characteristics for the recruitment of civil servant. What characteristics of the test should be there?
So it is already there, objectives, subjectives, and then interview. See, that is there for aptitude.
Huh. There is also, they are checking aptitude. Getting my points? And इसी टॉपिक को ज्यादा और एनालिसिस करो और लिखोगे आप राइट लिखो if a psychologist note down, note other questions, another questions. If a psychologist designed a test for the psychological assessment of academic students, but he's failed, but tests are failed to assessment their academic abilities. Tests are failed to assess their academic abilities. Mention the reason. Mention the reasons for failure of that test. Yeah, give the reasons for the failure of the test.
So, but we don't know what test
इन देखो कोई भी टेस्ट बनाया उसने एकेडमिक परफॉर्मेंस मेजर करने के लिए बट वो टेस्ट सक्सेस नहीं हो पाया क्यों नहीं हो पाया
So there could be some specific reasons. How can we write all the characteristics?
how we can use all these characteristics means the test was failed because the tests may not have what liability so that
We can use the word may and connect it to all.
हाँ तो इसीलिए क्योंकि वो रीजन क्या रहा होगा टेस्ट फेल होने का getting my point so there were multiple reasons for the failure of multiple reasons वो टेस्ट फेल क्यों हुआ because of several reasons so few of the reason because उस टेस्ट में वैलिडिटी नहीं रही होगी उसमें ऑब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं रही होगी इसीलिए वो नॉर्म्स वो सही से बच्चों के ऑब्जेक्टिविटी को पकड़ ही नहीं बच्चों के बारे में जान ही नहीं पाया होगा एज नॉर्म्स के अकॉर्डिंग टेस्ट नहीं बने होंगे इसलिए वो टेस्ट फेल हो गया Getting my points? Note down the next heading, type of test. Type of test. Type of test. Type of test is there. Right. Types of test. You will note here. Types of test. So first thing, note down right here. Even we can move. Type of test. First, according to administration. You note down according to administration. Administration. There is basically two types of test. Note down their names: speed test and power test. What is your speed test and power test? Like IS is what? Power test. More about power test. IS में power test ज़्यादा है. Power means thinking power. In the mains optional, there is how many questions? Only 6. I said that out of it you do 5 only. I will check your copy. Zindabad. First question and 5 question is compulsory. Getting?
So they use speed also.
Speed is very like colloquial test. Color के टेस्ट होते हैं बैंकिंग वगैरह में. They are checking our what? हाँ, 40. You have seen Ajay? Colloquial test like banking jobs. They have very fast typing speed. वो क्या check करते हैं? Speed test. Even here is also indirectly writing speed. How much fast you are able to write. Ready? And second is rate according to next according to preferences. According to performance, rate of performance. Sorry. According to rate of performance. According to rate of performance. So, rate of performance is what? मैंने गलत बोला. यहां पर होना चाहिए था इंडिविजुअल एंड ग्रुप. It is group. Sorry, extremely apologize for it. Performance में here is speed as well as power. यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा से गलत हुआ. Extremely apologize. Ready? And according to behavioral dimensions. According to behavioral dimensions. According to behavioral dimensions, we have different types of tests. First is intelligence. Here is intelligence, personality. Second, intelligence, personality. Aptitudes. Here is what? Aptitude. Aptitude. Other is what? Achievement. Achievement. Values. Other is what? Values. Values. Creativity. Creativity. Attitudes. All that which I have already written. Well, more you can do. More. Interest. Interest. Even all these are what? All these are ability tests. Anxiety test ability थोड़ी है. According to medium. According to medium. So there is basically two mediums. According to medium, there is other types of tests. Paper, pencil, and situational test. Paper, pencil, and situational. Situational test. Ready? And even I can write more, but it is not visible in camera. So extremely apologize for it. So for that, even I will turn a little bit about camera. आप सिर्फ दिखाने के लिए करना जिससे कि दिखाई पड़ जाए. So according to the nature of a test item, so test item. On the basis of test item, there is also type of test. On the basis of interpretation, अच्छा test item के base, that is verbal test. Test items, verbal and objective. Mode of referential. Reference basis also. There is also test. Two references are there. Note down norms based references and criterion based references. Norms based and criterion based. And the last category of the test is last category verbal and objective. Verbal and objective is that is item की base पे नहीं verbal and objective. वो मीडियम में हो सकता है verbal and non.
non-verbal test भी होते हैं.
हाँ?
Non-verbal भी होते हैं.
हाँ, that we will read आगे आ रहा है. So that हाँ, that is क्या लिखा आपने? References or interpretations, your norms with interpretations, or then scoring base is here. इसके नीचे लिख देता हूँ, right? Scoring base. On the basis of scoring. On the basis of scoring, there is also different types of test. Self-score test. Self-score test. And expert score test. Next, that is local हाँ, हैंड स्कोर टेस्ट, हैंड स्कोर टेस्ट, machine score test. Like copy checking right now, this is based on machine score rather than PTC specific. Right? So इसी को और आगे बढ़ा कर लेना है. लिंक जैसे मैंने यहाँ से किया. Then here is according to applicability. Applicability के बेस पर भी टेस्ट के टाइप्स होते हैं. On the basis of applicability, there is also different types of tests. What are that applicability? Cultural, specific test and culture fair test. Culture specific and culture फ्री या फेयर बोलते हैं. कल्चर फेयर टेस्ट. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट्स? कल्चर फेयर. So I will repeat references and interpretation related. I will repeat all these, right? That will help you a lot. What is given? My system of digital is very poor. Okay. First, according to administration, individual test and group test. Then, according to the performance, speed test and power test. According to behavioral dimensions, all these are mentioned. Then according to medium, paper, pencil and situational. According to items, verbal and objective. According to interpretations, norms and criterion based tests. According to scorings, score, self-score, expert score, hand and machine scores. And after this, there is the applicability, that is cultural applicability, culture specific and culture fair are there. So these are basic types of test. तो इतने टाइप के टेस्ट बनाए जाते हैं and we will deal in detail in coming classes. इसको हम कल की क्लास में फिर से डिस्कस करेंगे in detail. And very interesting things are there. So जो आपका टेस्ट जो हो रहा है ये भी एक तरह का टेस्ट है. Right? Just I will first close this session.